And so did Marshall just out the fitness community? Imagine how many people who have been claiming that they're 100% natural, but are also doing the exact same thing. Do you really think he's the only one? Coach Greg in today's video doing a natty or not on Marshal Cruz. The guy's very attractive, has about 12% body fat, and has what most men would consider to be a dream body physique. But the question remains, was his physique built through natural endeavors, or is the guy enhanced? And looking at physique, it does appear that the guy could have built this physique while being 100% natural. But just because it's possible that he did build this while being natural, doesn't mean that a guy was actually natural. And so oftentimes I do natty or nots and people are saying, yeah, this guy has less muscle than you, was less built than you, yet you claim that you were natural when you were his age and you have a better physique than he did. Well, just because I was able to build my physique natural to that extent doesn't mean that he could. Remember, it comes down to your genetics, your hard work, dedication, and years put into the gym.
Do you think Marshall's natural?
Yes.
And so you asked him if he's natural. Bradley Martin, quick to point out, yes, he's 100% natural. I know this to be true. But remember, just because you're friends with somebody, you coach them, you know them, you're best friends with them, they would never lie to you, does not mean that someone's natural.
Yeah?
Brad knows all the details too.
Yeah.
Really? Does he in fact know all the details, or does he not know any of them?
So you know that he's on HCG and enclomiphene too.
And so the interviewer points out, did you know that he's taking enclomiphene and HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin? Bradley Martin then looks stunned, because those two products are in fact banned performance-enhancing drugs. They in fact boost your testosterone. And so doctors can prescribe this for people that have low testosterone to boost their testosterone. You may have heard me mention enclomiphene when I did a natty or not on Alex Eubank, stated guys probably taking enclomiphene. Remember, he had testosterone levels in the 200s and 400s, and suddenly it was up to 932.
Oh.
I've actually been off for 6 months, but I did take it for like a 6-month period.
Oh, you're on that? You were
Yeah.
on that?
And so Bradley's basically saying, I've just said that you were natural. I thought I knew everything about you, but meanwhile, you've been on HCG and enclomiphene for 6 months.
Oh, you're on that? You were
Yeah.
on that? Oh, so you're not then.
And so if you're actually taking something that banned and saying you're 100% natural, then what you are is a fake natural. And so perhaps Marshall was just so ignorant that he didn't actually know that these things were banned, that he didn't understand the difference between exogenous and endogenous, or he just wanted to believe he was natural.
You don't think HCG and enclomiphene's natural?
Bro,
And so what next? Is he then going to say, what? Ostarine, Rad140, LGD, other SARMs, they're not natural?
What if we told you that he took HCG and enclomiphene to boost his test from 500 to 1,100 nanograms per deciliter?
Test boosters. Are test boosters natty or not?
If you get test boosters in oral form from my company, HDLT Supplements, it's 100% natural. And the reason for that is because there are no banned performance-enhancing drugs in G-Test. Will it boost your testosterone? Yes, of course it is. These are not the test boosters of old. These have clinically shown ingredients that will, in fact, boost your testosterone. But if you're injecting HCG, which is a drug from a doctor, and it's on the WADA banned performance-enhancing drug list, then no, you're not natural. Not to mention he was taking not one, but two performance-enhancing drugs. The other one being enclomiphene. These things boost your testosterone, and so they're technically test boosters, but they are certainly not natural, despite the fact that they will, in fact, raise your testosterone levels.
I was told by like multiple pro bodybuilders and like coaches that if I took it, I would still be considered natural because it's endogenous and not exogenous.
I mean, what pro bodybuilder out there was going to tell this guy that HCG and enclomiphene are 100% natural? And so he's saying it's endogenous. It comes from within the body. If you're injecting HCG from outside the body and putting it inside your body through your skin, through a needle, it's exogenous. Endogenous, developing or originating within the organism or arising from causes within the organism. And so if you're injecting it, it's not coming from within, it's coming from outside. Does that not make sense? And so I just can't understand who are the coaches or bodybuilders that are convincing this guy that he's 100% natural. Perhaps they were the guys who were selling it to him. Hey, I want to buy this, but I still want to keep my natty card. Will I still be considered natural if I inject HCG HCG and take enclomiphene? Oh, yeah, sure. You're still natural. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you're still natural. Please buy it. I've tripled the price. You need it more than last time.
Can I inject a hormone and be like natty?
No.
Oh.
Cook!
Yeah, dude, you're not
Man,
natty.
so none of these bitches are natty either?
Yeah, that sucks.
And so did Marshall just out the fitness community? Imagine how many people who have been claiming that they're 100% natural, but are also doing the exact same thing. Do you really think he's the only one? Do you think he's the only one taking HCG or enclomiphene who's bragging about being natural when they are in fact not? And why is this a big deal? You're thinking, oh, it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. Even The Rock knows it matters, and The Rock isn't 100% natural either.
It doesn't matter!
And so what's happening is people are trying to trick the population. Oh, if I don't put on a ton of muscle too quickly, people will think I'm 100% natural. I'll claim to be natural. I'll take all kinds of banned performance-enhancing drugs, and I can get away with blaming it on my hard work, dedication, and my diet. And so it's still very hard for people to admit that they are not 100% natural, that they perhaps owe some of their results, not all, of course not all, to the fact that they're taking something that you are not. And so when you compare yourself to other people, which you shouldn't do, you should only compare yourself to yourself. Realize that those people most likely are not natural, especially if they have incredible physiques on the social media, YouTube, Instagram, and so on. Consider the money, the financial incentive for people to get a little bit better. That slight edge in clomiphene HCG to boost your testosterone levels to perhaps 900 plus, maybe even 1,000. And you don't think it can make a difference? Of course it can. Instead of putting on 5 pounds, if you put on 10, it still looks natural, but that's 5 extra pounds that you wouldn't have had you have not taken that performance enhancing drug. And so many are going to point out Marshall's physique could be attained natural. He could have done it without performance-enhancing drugs. Well, it's possible, but he didn't. Marshall thought he was natural. Bradley Martin, also who knows this guy and sponsored him, also thought he was natural. All the while, he 100% was not. The fact he actually thought he was natty is crazy. The fact you guys believe he thought he's natty, I got a bridge to sell you. I have to agree with that. I do not for 1 second believe that this guy thought he was natural. I believe he had a loophole where he thought I'll get away with saying that I'm natural and just claim that some IFBB pros and coaches told me I'd be natural. I thought I was natural. I'm going to play the innocent card. I didn't know that those things were banned. Do you think that's an excuse? When you fail a drug test at the Olympics, do you think you can then say, oh, I didn't know HCG and clomiphene were not natural? Imagine you're competing in sports, the Olympics, you go to the Olympic trials, they test you, you fail, you say, oh, I didn't know. Well, neither substances are anabolic steroids, so he had a good reason for believing he is. And so do you see the naivety? Imagine you're injecting something, a drug, prescribed by a doctor, and you think you're still natural. If you were still natural, why wouldn't everyone be doing it? If it was that safe, that easy to do, and you're still natural, why wouldn't every single athlete competing at the Olympics be taking HCG and clomiphene? Because I can guarantee this, if it was 100% natural and legal, people would be doing it. Everyone would want to do it. Why would you not want to get an advantage over your opponents? And if it didn't actually work, why would you have taken it for 6 months? If you actually think, oh, it's natural, it hardly does anything. If it hardly did anything, why would he be doing it? The biggest way to tell if someone is on drugs is the extreme changes. If he slowly got his gains year after year, then yes, he's natural. But if he blew it up at some point in time, he's on gear, simple as that. No, it's not as simple as that. If you're on enclomiphene and HCG, you're not going to blow up suddenly. It's not like you're taking test and trend, but it most certainly is giving you advantage. And so perhaps it only doubles the rate of muscle growth that's going to occur. Certainly not going to be enough to blow up per se, but doubling the rate of muscle growth, that is a lot. Also, for example, you're taking HRT, not high dose. I'm on 140 milligrams. My testosterone last I checked was about 800. Do you really think that is going to make you blow up, put on 20 or 30 pounds? Of course not. And so if somebody wants to be a fake natty and get away with it, what they're going to do is take very small doses, just enough to make a difference, but not so much to make you think that no way could that a guy have achieved it natural. And so, for example, you could be a fake natty for 5 years, put on 30 pounds of muscle, and say, it was all my hard work. Meanwhile, had you not taken those items, perhaps you would only put on 15 pounds of muscle. So in comparison, you double those gains, 30 pounds versus 15. All the while, people who watch you on Instagram will say, wow, he slowly put on the muscle, 30 pounds over 5 years. I do believe that's realistic. Many people could have achieved that. Sure, many people could have, but he didn't. That person used banned performance-enhancing drugs, claimed to be natural, and fooled all of you. And so you can't just say, wow, I saw a huge gain in a short period of time, and so I know he's fake daddy, and if I didn't see that, then the guy's 100% natural. Bro really goes, Brad knows all the details too. Clearly didn't tell Brad all the details. We ball root. And so did you learn something? Do you now understand that just because somebody doesn't blow up in size and strength, that they don't have a crazy and wild physique, that it doesn't mean that they're natural? That they might be just taking enclomiphene, HCG, SARMs, or steroids in very small doses, making smaller changes, but yet it still doesn't mean they're natural. Interested in natural supplements like G-Test, ActiBuilder, GO2 Max, things that are not banned by WADA, you can take this, get drug tested, you will 100% pass. These will not cause a failed drug test, perfectly legal. Please click the link in the description. Don't forget 10% off, code Greg. Subscribe and click the bell button. Don't forget to like this video. It helps the algorithm as well as adding a comment. Also watch one of those two bloops and you know what's next. The cookbooks, the training books, the circle diet book, the Harder Than Last Time clothing line, all of that, also code Greg, 10% off. Coaching plans by me and my team, you name it, I got it. Head over to the website, and until next time, I am out.